Hi, I'm Nabila, and I am a solo traveler and the travel creator behind Desi Travel. So you might have seen me on Instagram or TikTok, but I'm finally in my YouTube era. I wanted to come on here to share my experiences as a Desi girl, South Asian girl, maneuvering the world through like career journey, through my education, and through traveling and finding myself. So this page is going to be about a little bit of everything. Today's video is kind of talking about how I created my platform and how I started solo traveling. And so this is how I started solo traveling at the age of 18, Desi Girl Edition. Start with like sharing my first solo trip, which actually was, technically doesn't count. I went to go visit my friend in Belgium for winter break during my first year of college. But my first solo travel like trip for months that like gave me my start and got me addicted to traveling was when I moved to Madrid, Spain in 2013 after my freshman year of college to become an au pair, kind of like a live-in nanny. And it was hands down the best experience, and it honestly taught me so much. We'll dive into that a little bit more, but I wanted to really hone in on how I started doing this and like how my parents reacted, because I feel like that is the question I get all the time. So backstory, I went away to college and I was the first one in my entire family, I think, to go away to college and like the first girl. So I moved 4.5 hours, lived outside, like obviously dormed. And I think that really helped me establish like my own independence and build trust with my parents and kind of get them used to the idea of me living away. And it was an adjustment for me. I was really depressed the first 6 months. I also didn't like my major or my school or the city I went to school in, but it was very lonely and hard. Like I feel like college is just an adjustment. So moving away really helped me kind of get comfortable with like, you know, eating alone, making friends. I was constantly studying and like sleeping in the library. So I was definitely on my own and okay being in solitude. A lot of my friends didn't have like weren't science majors. So I feel like different study schedules, different exam schedules, but I was always in the library because classic brown girl going to school, like have to prove their parents. And then backtracking before that, I started working when I was 14 and, you know, being outside of the house, being around people of all ages really helped me like mature and grow up and talk about things that I wasn't talking about at home. So my first job was at Edible Arrangements. That one was okay, but the one that I feel like really had an impact on me was at a jewelry store gift shop situation, and I was literally the youngest person working there. It was supposed to be a seasonal job, but I really liked it and did well. I was like selling jewelry and I don't even know, like so many knickknacks and collectibles, and everyone there was like a variety of ages, but I would say like 40 to 70 years old, and they were the sweetest women. It was all girls that worked there, and I feel like I just got exposed to like talking to people about different things. I didn't know anything about jewelry. I didn't grow up like that, so I feel like that helped me learn from a different point of view and you know, learn how to like be on my own, how to make like contacts and connections. So that really helped me, and that also showed my parents my independence and like where my head was at. And I feel like I've always been really eager about opportunities and learning and putting myself in unique situations. So when I finished my first year of college, I had looked into being an au pair because my best friend from high school was an au pair in Belgium, and I went to go visit her. And I really wanted to do something that summer, and I really wanted to forget about my first year of college because it was brutal. And I decided that I would go try to be an au pair, travel. I honestly still can't believe I did this. I think I just loved Europe. I had been to Europe twice before I went to Spain for this au pair summer, and I just loved it. And so I think I wanted to experience more of it, but I also really wanted to learn Spanish. I already knew some and I really liked languages, and I didn't really have summer plans, and I think I didn't want to move back home. Moving away was really nice, and then moving back home for the summer and not having plans like just sounded so painful for like 3 months. So I applied and I accepted it and bought my tickets, the perks of having your own money. I bought my own ticket to Spain and I went home And I told my parents that I was going, and if they didn't want me to go, that they could refund me the airfare. And back then, I don't know why I spent so much money on my flight, but it was like $900. And my parents were furious. They literally did not even drive me to the airport. They said, figure it out on your own. And they were so pissed off that I went. Even when I was there, they would not talk to me unless like just to check in with my safety. But if I had anything to say or if anything went wrong, or like one time my card got eaten by the ATM, and they wouldn't send me a new one. Like, they were like, you wanted to do this, you figured it out. And honestly, that like tough love is like kind of what's helped me get through life and just like be really independent. So key points here is that I didn't ask for permission. I just did it. And I'm not going to sit here and say like, that's what you should do, but that is just how I went about it. And that's my story. And at the end of the day, I am sharing my story, and I'm not telling you what's right and what's wrong. But I also, I started solo traveling because I was living with a family, and I felt comfortable knowing that, okay, I'd have a flight, and then I would be living somewhere, I had an address, and I knew what I was going to be doing for like the first 3 months. I didn't know what I would do on weekends or after hours, but I trusted that I've figured it out. But I had my accommodations, like a roof, like figured out, and that was most important to me. And I had enough money and was earning money so I could buy food and be okay. Those are like the two essentials, right? And then I figured I would make friends, I would find activities, I would talk to people and figure it out from there. And I did. I made other au pair friends. I had the best time of my life. And I think meeting all the other au pairs and solo travelers and backpackers, I didn't know about backpacking culture like growing up like as a Desi girl. Like, I didn't know that people just like after high school went on a backpacking trip and like did like Ryanair or the Eurail, like that was a thing. I had no idea. And when I got there and met all these people, the classic like, oh, what are you doing? Where are you from? And people were like, oh, I'm backpacking. And I would see, and I learned about hostels and I learned about all of these things, and I was literally shook and like hooked. And that's kind of the start of my solo travel journey. You know what else you want to know? I'm happy to answer any questions, and then I will probably dive into like what it was like to be an au pair in one of my next videos. So yeah, that's my first video. If you like what you see, I guess I should say that you should subscribe and like my video and comment maybe. So yeah, thank you.